I'm Stacey Happis. Joining me today is Craig Turner, Director of Youth and Social Services. Craig, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So we're here today to talk about Project Graduation.
Right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit of an overview of what the project is?
So Project Graduation is the town-wide celebration for all seniors in high school that are graduating this year.
Okay.
So public, private, homeschool, it does not matter. They're all eligible to attend. And
as long as they're a resident.
As long as they live in Wallingford,
okay.
Correct. So the date is June 12th. Okay. And the event is held right here in the Park and Recreation Department building. We actually take over the inside of the building as well as the outside, which is the parking lot and the front yard, and have a variety of different activities, food, entertainment, challenges, skill games. It runs the gamut of different activities.
Awesome.
And it's just a great night where kids can come and just relax and have fun and celebrate. And the reason the town does that is to offer a substance-free, safe activity the night of Project Graduation.
Awesome.
One, to keep the kids safe, but also just to celebrate the success they've had in high school.
And what's the approximate time frame of when the project takes place?
So that begins around 8 o'clock. Actually, for any student that wants to come, they have to arrange with us the transportation. Most of them take the buses either out of Sheehan or Lyman Hall High School immediately after graduation. But if there are students who do not attend those two schools that are going to be coming, they should call us and we will arrange for the transportation for them to either get on one of those two buses or 8 buses, there are 4 at each school, or arrange a alternative mode of transportation. But we like to be on top of anybody that's bringing a student up on their own, just so we can notify the police.
Right, and parents can also bring their children, or?
Well, we discourage that because it gets a little crazy with the traffic and the buses and the congestion, and it's much easier going on the bus because all of the students go back on the bus to either Lyman Hall and Sheehan and then are picked up at the school at the end of the night by their parents or whoever they've selected to pick them up.
That makes sense. If you're using the parking lot, they need to go to a different facility to pick up.
Correct.
Awesome.
So it's been around for a long time, over 25 years, and the program enjoys tremendous success for the kids. There's usually between 75 and 80% of the 2 graduating classes that attend, plus the other students that come from other venues. The key for the success of the program and the safety of the program is having enough volunteers to man the program. And we still are in need of volunteers. We can always use more volunteers. Some parents don't think that they should volunteer if their children are in the senior class because 1, their children may not want them there, or 2, they may not want to be there as well, just so that kids aren't affected by their presence. So we tell them that's really not an issue. The odds of you seeing your child for any significant amount of time is probably remote at best because the day is too busy. The number of places that we position volunteers is too varied for them to actually even notice that you're here.
Right. Now for volunteers, do they have to be there the whole night or can they come for a few hour time slots?
Yeah, that's a great question. So volunteers have to be 21 or older, first of all. And they can pick any amount of time that they want to be there, from an hour to 4 hours. If they want to stay longer, they're more than welcome. Most people come for 1 or 2 hours at a clip. Some people come in the beginning of it, they leave, and then they'll come back towards the end. So there's really a variety.
And do you need help with setup and takedown, or?
Well, that's part of the volunteer process. So we set up the night before the event, actually. So we actually set up on the 11th once the building closes down. And then we break down, obviously, on the 13th in the morning at 2 o'clock when the program is over. And we can always use people to help us with both of those.
And if people are interested in volunteering, they can contact Youth and Social Services?
Yeah, they should call our office at 203-294-2175 and just let us know they're interested. And then we will connect them with the volunteer coordinator who will reach out to them and determine, the information they need in terms of when and where they're going to volunteer. So it's a big part of the program. Last year, we were almost in jeopardy of not running the program because we didn't have enough volunteers, but a lot of people stepped up towards the end. And it's really to ensure the safety and success of the event for the kids. it's kind of a behind the scenes thing in terms of really noticing all the volunteers. You're not really aware of how many there are, but they're located throughout the building and throughout outside to ensure that if anything goes wrong, someone gets injured, something breaks down, whatever, we can immediately respond to it. And it's worked very, very well over the years.
Awesome. And to make sure that all the activities are running smoothly and the kids have a good time?
Yeah, there are dozens of activities. So for those who are wondering what's in the event, we have a number of outside activities that include inflatables and challenges. There's a DJ. There's a food tent that runs all night long until about 12 o'clock or 12:30, where we're feeding nonstop.
Right.
And then inside there are games in the gym that can be played, some other challenge games that take place in some of the rooms. There's caricature artists. There's a huge bingo game going on. There's a Jeopardy type of game going on.
And you have raffles and things like that as well?
We have raffles towards the end. That actually is kind of how we wrap it up, although we may do that differently this year because we got some feedback that it might be better to just do that throughout the course of the night and make it go more fluidly until the end.
Right.
So we're going to take a look at that and see what we can do.
Okay.
And the other thing we can do is that if there are people that are still interested in supporting it financially, they can certainly make out a donation to Wallingford Project Graduation and send that to us at our office, 6 Fairfield Boulevard in town. Department of Youth and Social Services. And parents have been extremely supportive of the program in the past, not just the senior class, but parents, business owners, organizations in town. It's not an inexpensive event. It actually costs quite a bit of money to pull it off. But we think it's worth every penny of it just to keep the kids safe and to celebrate in style, safely, and with a lot of celebration. It's great.
Now, you mentioned monetary donations. Can people donate in other ways, or is it mainly just monetary?
So they can donate in other ways. Difficult to do that because the only other area that we would donate might be gifts or prizes that we raffle off, and it's hard to know what those would be. So I would say for the sake of most people, a monetary donation would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to know about Project Graduation?
So I think just making sure that people understand that they come here via the buses at the high schools and they leave via the buses from the to the high schools from here. It's really important because we don't want to have excess traffic because we don't know who that could be necessarily.
Right. And you don't want kids leaving with kids. You'd rather that they get to the school safely.
Yeah, we've actually never had a problem with kids leaving with kids. It's just making sure that people who don't belong here, we can identify them quickly. And if you're not a car with a volunteer window sticker or coming in on the bus or having called us ahead of time so that we have your license plate number and other things for exceptional circumstances, you know, the police are going to take a look at that car and investigate why they're here. And given the time of night that the event takes place and basically no one else is here in the area because all the businesses near us are closed down.
Now, are the police on the property?
We have 3 to 4 police officers here throughout the night. We have an EMT and nurses here throughout the night, and they're constantly patrolling the area. And it's very well lit, so it's pretty hard to hide.
And it's good for parents to know that your kids are here and they're having fun, but they're also kept very safe.
Right, we take that very seriously, and we've been very fortunate. We've had, you know, for all the years that the program has run, it's been incredibly successful, and fortunately, no negative experiences. And we want to continue that.
Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we also have some time, so why don't we talk a little bit about Change the Script?
I'd love to do that.
Awesome.
So for a number of years now, the community, the state, the country has been made aware of and is very concerned about opioid use and abuse, particularly through prescription drugs. So the Change the Script is really focusing on parents and adults who aren't parents, knowing what their options are when they're meeting with their primary care physician or other doctors about appropriate medical treatment, prescription treatment. One of the issues that's come up as an example, we know that for kids that become dependent on opioids, particularly through prescription drugs, it generally
Right.
starts with their dentist and surgery from their dentist, and the drugs that are given, most commonly Percocet.
Right.
So most parents wouldn't even think twice, most adults wouldn't think twice of questioning that doctor's decision to do that.
Right, absolutely.
So we're asking them to do that, to have a conversation with the doctor about changing the script so that it does not involve opioid drugs when they're not absolutely necessary to control the pain, because that's really the only benefit that people have in using those prescription drugs. It's to reduce pain,
Right.
and it does do that. But there are combinations of other drugs that are not opioid based that can be just as effective in reducing pain while the
Right.
body is healing. So we want people to be aware that they have a voice with their primary care physician or any other medical provider, that they can have that conversation and look to change the script to make it safer for them and for
Right.
their children.
And just start asking questions.
Yeah, so I think the assumption is that we've always believed that doctors have our best interests at heart.
Right.
But we know from the opioid crisis that even the best intentions have led to serious dependency and addiction
Right.
on the part of both children and adults. So being knowledgeable and aware of the risks associated particularly with opioid-based drugs is really important to protect yourself as well as your children. So we have a campaign that we're involved in. If you're driving down Route 5, you'll see a giant billboard that says, change the script. That's from us.
Awesome.
We're distributing material through the library, through the health department, through the Boys and Girls Club and other places so that people can understand what this is all about. We have information here, and if people are interested in more information, they can certainly call our office about that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to just make people aware that there's other options.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Again, I'm Stacey Hoppus. We'll see you around town.